representatives and friends, Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon. My colleagues already gave comprehensive information about the latest situation on Armenian aggression and attacks on Azerbaijan. What I would like to say additional that first of all, we don't want and we don't need war. We want and we demand only justice. And justice is that immediate and unconditional withdrawal of Armenian troops from occupied territories of Azerbaijan and end of occupation of Azerbaijani territories. It is the not only demands of Azerbaijan, it is the demands of all international organizations, including UN, which adopted 4 Security Council resolutions. And for your information, just 1-2 days before, Armenian Prime Minister stated and rejected these UN Security Council resolutions. Before continuing my remarks, I would like just for you watch one of these adopted UN Security Council resolutions, which demands immediate and unconditional withdrawal of Armenian troops from occupied territories of Azerbaijan. Please.
Following consultations among members of the Security Council, I have been authorized to make the following statement on behalf of the Council. I quote,
I would like to be shown by you.
In the area of Fizuli. The Council condemns the attack on the Fizuli region from the Nagorno-Karabakh region of the Azerbaijani Republic, just as it has previously condemned the invasion and seizure of the districts of Kelbajar and Agdam of the Azerbaijani Republic. The Council demands a stop to all attacks and an immediate cessation of the hostilities and bombardments, which endanger peace and security in the region, and an immediate, complete, and unconditional withdrawal of occupying forces from the area of Fizuli and from the districts of Kelbajar and Agdam and other recently occupied areas of the Azerbaijani Republic. The Council reaffirms the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Azerbaijani Republic and of all other states in the region and the inviolability of their borders, and expresses its grave concern at the effect these hostilities have had on the efforts of the Minsk Group of the Conference on Security and Cooperation in Europe, CSCE, to achieve a peaceful solution to the conflict. In light of this most recent escalation of the conflict, the Council strongly reaffirms its call in Resolution 853/1993 for states to refrain from supplying any weapons and munitions which might lead to an intensification of the conflict or the continued occupation of territory of the Azerbaijani Republic.
Thank you. We were holding negotiation process more than 28 years in order to achieve all these demands adopted by UN Security Council. But unfortunately, Armenia, acting contrary to negotiation process, and is trying to consolidate the status quo regime based on occupation. First of all, I would like to mention that how this, the situation was escalated and the tension increases in the region. For all, will be much interesting, I think, that to know the reason. But if we will go to the reasons, it started by the coming to the, even before the coming to the power of the current PM of Armenia prior to his election on 8 May 2018. He raised the issue of participation of the illegal regime established in the occupied territories of Azerbaijan as a party to negotiations. Before 2018, we were holding negotiations with Armenia, but by his statement, he started to try to involve the so-called regime of Nagorno-Karabakh as a party of this negotiation. Then he went, after the election, he went further deeper, and on 9th July 2018, he sent his son to undergo military service in the units of armed forces of Armenia deployed in the occupied territories of Azerbaijan. This is just a few main points I am giving for you. And then ahead of start of the Pan-Armenian Games, Nikol Pashinyan declared that Nagorno-Karabakh, Artsakh, by their calling, is Armenian. It destroyed all the negotiation process which we were holding 27 years with Armenia, and the statement that Nagorno-Karabakh is Armenia means that they don't want peace, they don't want negotiations, and they don't want the end of the occupation. Then on 23rd April 2020, Armenia's Minister of Foreign Affairs declared that proposal for peaceful settlement of the Armenia-Azerbaijan Nagorno-Karabakh conflict, envisaging a step-by-step approach, is not acceptable. And after that, on 23rd July 2020, Nikol Pashinyan, PM of Armenia, declared that after the July clashes, the Armenian position on the Armenia-Azerbaijan Nagorno-Karabakh has been strengthened and put forward 7 conditions for resolutions of this conflict. So many of his unserious statements, and both in word and deed, escalated the situation, and his visit to occupied Shusha to participate in the inauguration of the self-proclaimed regime was another provocative action done by Armenian PM after his election as a prime minister. To ensure the security of our civilians, which were suffering 28 years, and you know that Armenia armed forces used regularly to provocate in the line of control, targeting our civilians and human settlements, and to ensure the security of our civilians and human infrastructure, our armed forces, it was already mentioned, started counter-offensive peace enforcement operations against Armenian aggression.
And regions of Azerbaijan, which have been under occupation for the last 30 years. And that area makes about 20% of internationally recognized territories of Azerbaijan. Next, please. Now I will provide information on the escalated tension which resulted from provocation carried out by Armenian forces on 27th September, as Mr. Samir mentioned, which started with intensive shelling of Azerbaijan's villages and towns located along the LOC, which resulted with the human casualties, including the death of the one civilian. Next, please. Only in the first day of escalation, 5 civilians killed and wounded, and houses and civilian infrastructures were destroyed. Next, please. It once again proves that Armenia has no limits in its aggression policy, especially against civilian population, and Armenians' main objective is to create fear among civilian population, which was the case during First Nagorno-Karabakh War in early 1990s, when Armenia carried out ethnic cleansing of Azerbaijanis, including the genocide of Khojaly in the town of Khojaly of Azerbaijan in 1992. Armenia deliberately continues to violate international law and Geneva Convention. Next. In response to repeated Armenian provocations, Azerbaijan army units located in the LOC area suppressed enemy fire positions, engaged various artillery systems, direct fire weapons, UAVs, and aviation units, and consequently took control of the situation. In order to ensure safety and security of civilians, Azerbaijan army has launched counter-offensive peace enforcement operation. Video. Azerbaijan army using precise weapon systems such as armed UAVs, kamikaze drones, anti-tank missiles, and artillery to destroy enemy's air defense systems, strongholds, tanks, military infrastructures, and manpower. By midday of first day, 27th September, Azerbaijan army troops broke through the enemy's defense and disrupted their defensive system in southern direction, liberating 6 villages, seizing enemy's battle positions and destroying their military installations. At 3 different and very crucial directions, Azerbaijan army seized very important heights and that were defended by enemy troops. Meanwhile, enemy's command posts, maneuvering troops, tanks, armored vehicles, and military installations were neutralized and destroyed by fire. Very important, hardened positions of enemy were captured at the Lesser Caucasus mountain range. Liberated positions at a high altitude areas enable us to control main supply roads from Armenia to occupied Kalbajar region of Azerbaijan. All these precise weapons allow Azerbaijan army to accurately destroy military targets and avoid collateral.
This is Pakistan Observer. For more latest news, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.